Hey Witch, I'm Luna Seranova, and you're listening to Good Witch, Bad Bitch. Hello friends, welcome back to another beautiful episode of the podcast. How are you doing today? We're coming at you with another video podcast as well, so if you guys prefer the visuals, hop off over on YouTube, and I will be here with my face. And hopefully this camera is not super overexposed right now. I can only see a little bit and it looks very bright. It's on auto ISO, whatever. Anyway, guys, so today I'm so excited because it's like one of my favorite days today. It's Friday the 13th, and I realized that I've never talked about the history of Friday the 13th, and it's so fun. I always enjoy like sharing this kind of info with people I know in real life and being like, hey, by the way, you guys know why this is considered taboo? Because it's just so funny, because it's like, it's a funny story. We'll get there. It's Friday the 13th. It's a freaking sacred day over here. I'm having a good time, but I want to drop in some housekeeping things with you guys today. So just to shout out, I'm offering readings on my website and on HeyHero for those of you who are curious. If you guys want to get a full-length reading with me, those kind of bad boys are going to be up on my website. Those are the one-on-one video conference. They're a lot larger in scale. We cover a lot more stuff, and they're about an hour long. So those are my big guys. If you guys are on a little bit of a budget, wanting to save some money, or you just have like a quick question, check out the HeyHero, because that's where I have my mini readings. They're still super jam-packed with information. You guys know I talk very fast, so I'm able to put a lot of information into these smaller readings. So check out that. All those links will be down below. And I also want to give you guys a little sneak peek. I have them right here. I made these last Friday. I'm just going to give them a shakeroo. If you guys, can you hear that? ASMR. This is my love oil. So you guys probably know I have the Luna's Love Me Good oil, and I don't have the label on, so for those of you guys watching on YouTube, this isn't the final product. The label I'm pretty proud of. It's pretty cute. But it's beautiful. It really is. I said in my stories last week, which if you don't follow me on Instagram, definitely check me out there. It's just at Luna Seranova. And on that note, there's tons of scammer accounts. I'm never going to have a second or backup account. I'm always just at Luna Seranova, my name. No weird spelling, and I'm never going to DM you guys for a reading. I'm never going to solicit money from you guys, okay? This should be a given. You guys should believe in me a bit more, but it's always a day when I see like 17 new message requests. I'm like, fuck, they got another one out there. So love that. So just keep in mind, I don't do that. But on my Instagram stories last week, I shared a little pic, and I called this oil a sacral chakra galaxy in a bottle. And I felt like that's a perfect representation, okay? It's a really great representation of the energy within these love oils. They're really beautiful. Obviously, love is a good thing to use them for, but it's really great for opening your sacral chakra and awakening you to not only self-love, but also that very, it's not like the fruity, like rose quartz self-love, like, ooh, bubble baths and shit, which is great. It's more of that deep, guttural, sacral chakra love of, like, I fucking love myself and I am so deep in my power, and, you know, like, I am not going to take less than I deserve. Like, I deserve good top quality shit, you know? It's a very luxurious oil. It leaves a nice golden shimmer on your skin. And it's kind of like this reminder that you're a bad bitch and do not accept, you know, the bare minimum. Do not accept shit. Have that self-love there. If you catch me peeking to my right, or if it sounds weird, I have a spell going right now, and I'm just keeping a little eye on the candle. I just have a bit of anxiety when it comes to candles, so I'm just keeping a little bit of an eye on it. So, anyway, a couple more things. Okay, I guess just one more thing, and then we'll get into the video. And that is something that's also super exciting. I feel like 2023 is the year that I'm doing a bunch of new stuff. It's, if you guys listen to the numerology, podcast, you will know that it's my 1 year. So I'm on new beginnings, and it's really exciting. So lots of new beginnings here for me, and one of those is the creation of my first ever course, and it is called Eye to Eye, Intro to Intuition. And it's all about awakening your intuition within yourself. A couple months ago, I pulled my Patreon on courses that they thought was super interesting. Like, these are my ideas. What are you guys most interested in? And so many people said this course, which I was pretty surprised about. But I'm very excited about it. It's a beginner-friendly course, so even if you're very, very new to all things spiritual, like, it's totally okay. We're gonna literally bring it from step one and work our way deep into it from there. So it's really exciting. It's given in a very, I mean, you guys know my energy. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and give you guys some, like, Saturn type of shit. Like, it's very friendly here. It's a very Venusian, like, all love here, very supportive. So if you're new and you're just, like, kind of nervous about, like, I don't know, getting into it, you're like, I don't know if I trust myself, this is a super good program because it's very, very emotionally supportive. Like, I'm here to hold your hand, I'm here to help you and to coach you, and I'm not here to say, like, I know the way, this is the way, and I'm gonna teach you. It's like, yes, I'm teaching you, but I'm teaching you how to open up to yourself, because intuition is really something we all have, and I'm not giving you some magical potion. I'm not attuning you to this esoteric, mystical thing. It's like, you are intuitive. You have intuition. You are a human being, and that is a part of being a human. I am just here to teach you how to use that. It's like, we can speak as humans, but we might have like a speech pathologist to help us learn how to speak. Or, you know, we learn how to speak when we're kids because, you know, it's something we can do. We just need to figure out how to use it. So that's the long story of my course that's starting. I'm very, very excited. So cool. That's all the housekeeping. Let's get into the juice of Friday the 13th. So there's a dark and then there's a not so dark history of Friday the 13th, and I'm going to start with the not so dark history, the truth, and where it all came from, because Friday the 13th was not always so spooky. And I will give you guys one guess. Who do you think made Friday the 13th evil? Guesses? Anyone? Who was like, that shit's evil? Did you guess the Christian church? You're right. You're absolutely right. Love that. So we're gonna start, and we're gonna just get into the not so dark history, which is pre-Christian era. So where does Friday the 13th come from? Friday the 13th is actually a sacred day to pagans, to traditional old-time pagans, the first of them. And the reason is because, as you probably know, Friday is considered Freya's day. So this is the day that was attributed to her. Whether it was Freya or Frigg, that's a whole other conversation, but we'll go with Freya for now. And so this was considered the day of love, of femininity, of kind of mystical things. When we're thinking of Freya, she's the goddess of not only love and beauty, and when you mix her with Frigg, also like motherhood and nurturing in the home life, and on top of that, also magic and witchcraft, okay? So this is Freya's day. Friday is the sacred day. It's also sacred to women because she's a goddess, and particularly because she does work with women's health and women's issues for the most part, too. So that's one component. The other component is 13. Now, this is a number that gets such a bad rep for the reasons that we'll talk about in this episode, but this is a number that's so sacred to my family, and particularly the women in my family, and I was also born on a Friday, and so that's when I first started to get into the craft, and I was like, I think Freya's reaching out to me, and then I like connected those dots. I was like, whoa, this is like a deep, deep thing, and I wonder if even like for me personally, like it's something that goes beyond my experience and is also like includes the women in my family, whether or not they were aware that, you know, Freya is like a part of their life or whatever. And we are Nordic, so I'm just like, man, I'm the lineage of Freya. I feel it. So anyway, 13, spooky number, but it's actually not spooky. And when we think of it, that is a number that's considered sacred to what one might call women's mysteries, which is like a really silly concept and phrase, but it's the sacred number of the feminine. And the reason is because there are 13 moon cycles in a year, and also if we're looking at like a super regular cycle for women or for people who bleed, there are 13 menstrual cycles in a year. And so the fact that we sync up to the moon and have the same amount of cycles, the same length of cycles as the moon. Again, for the most part, not everyone's cycles are the same, but it was connected to women and to that mystery of periods, you know? And because of it being connected to the 13 moon cycles in a year, of course, we think of full moons, we think of witchcraft and like the spooky. So 13 has always been a sacred number. So then when you combine those and you get Friday and 13, it's like a super sacred day to Freya. And so this is a day that they would celebrate in the old times as sacred to Freya, particularly the 13th when it lands on a Friday, but also 13 and Friday. So it all started like because we love women, you know, and we support this pagan religion and all this good stuff. So it started in a place of love. And just to throw in another thing of another culture, it was actually sacred to ancient Egyptians. Basically, and this is just some research I done, this is not something that I am familiar with super, but I wanted to research this a bit more, and this is something I found. I found out that basically ancient Egyptians viewed the physical life as this quest for spiritual ascension, and there were essentially 12 stages. And the 13th stage is the afterlife. And so it wasn't viewed as like, oh, they died. Like, it was like they are completing their cycle. It was more celebratory than we view death in our kind of modern society. And so it was like this sacred number, and it was kind of like the ascension into the afterlife. It was really, really cool and celebrated. And then, guys, what freaking happened? What happened? The Christians. It's okay, guys. We forgive you. It's fine. But Christianity came. And also, it's probably good to know, I didn't read anything about this particularly, but it is, and I'm not sure the exact dates, but pre-Christian times, there was a shift from feminine-led religion into more male-dominated and more God-focused. So this is when, I'm not sure, maybe it was the birth of the Abrahamic religions, but I think it was slightly prior to that, where they started placing, even in like ancient Greek pantheons and stuff like that, they started placing more merit on the men and the gods. Basically, they were like, oh, these gods are like more, like we're going to focus on them more, basically. And so who knows when that was, but there was a shift from where they stopped worshiping the feminine so much. Because for a long time, it was like women were viewed as this super spiritual, like women were just automatically holy. Like they were just superior kind of, and then it kind of slowly started to turn a little male dominated, and then we get to Christianity. So again, this next thing could have happened anywhere between that and the rise of Christianity, I'm not sure, but basically the solar calendar took over. So the solar calendar of 12 months took over the lunar calendar of 13 months, okay? And slowly, 12 started to become like the hot sister, and 13 was like, bye queen. Like, you're weird. I'm not sure. I don't know. Humans are weird, and like history is so strange. But basically, the solar calendar took over. The lunar calendar was out, and 13 slowly became the outcast for a number of reasons. And 12 took on that sacral sacred energy. This is when we got the 12 hours of the clock. And then when Christianity comes in, I had to look this up, so I'm referencing my notes because I do not know the Bible. But we have the 12 tribes of Israel, the 12 apostles of Jesus, and that's when, I don't know, the website I was looking at said that's when we got the 12 signs of the zodiac. Interested about that because we know there's the 13th sign that is like super chaotic and like controversial. But basically, going back to that, the 12 apostles of Jesus and the 13th being homie Judas himself. So really, Christianity, they were really clever when they were like, how are we going to demonize certain things, you know, without saying that we're demonizing it, because these things were still fresh of these people's religion. So, you know, Christianity took over and it was like, hey, you can't worship pagan gods anymore. And they were like, that's fucked up. And they were like, okay, well, we'll make some of your gods into saints. And kind of like pacifying them in that way. But also these were like very violent takeovers for the most part. So it wasn't like they could really fight back. So a lot of them did just worship in private. But what the Christian church did was basically see how they could, without saying like, I mean, they did say everything was evil, but they did it also in like very symbolic ways. So like I said, 12 apostles of Jesus, and the 13th just so happens to be attributed to the guy who fucked it up, right? And this is just, you know, lots of debate of if the story of Jesus is real, what's up with all of that, who the fuck wrote this shit. Lots of things in that manner, which I am not here to debate or even question because that's not my religion of choice. But basically, so when Christianity started to take over, pagans still wanted to do their celebrations because it was their religion. So they still wanted to celebrate their Fridays and have their associations with the goddess. And so the church was like, listen, if Friday's your holy day, like, we need to let everybody know that's the witches' Sabbath. So, like, celebrate it if you want, but we're gonna, like, kill you if you do. You know, so they named it the witches', I don't know if it's Sabbath or Sabbath, but whatever. They named it that, and Friday apparently became a big deal in the Bible. Allegedly, Eve tempted Adam with the apple on a Friday. We love that. We love it. Good for her. Apparently the Great Flood began on a Friday, and the Temple of Solomon was destroyed on a Friday. Apparently Jesus was crucified on a Friday, and there were 13, I already said this, but the 13 attendees at the Last Supper, with the most infamous being Judas. So again, I don't know really anything so much about the Bible. I had my Bible time way back in the day and it just didn't do it for me. But like I said, like, they really were like, we are going to demonize the 13th and Friday until it's just synonymous with evil. And they fucking did it, you guys. They did it. Wow. Owen Wilson. You know, and it's kind of funny because, I don't know, maybe it's not. I think it's a little funny. It's like, okay, good for you. You made a day of the week naughty. Good job. You know, it's like, okay. Anyway, how crazy is that, you guys? Isn't that crazy? So, you know what? It is Friday the 13th. You go out there, you show your titties, you do whatever you need to do to revolt against the Christian faith. You know, but in reality, it is a magical day. It's connected to Freya. So yeah, if you want to show your titties in the name of Freya and like own your body, own your autonomy, own your female mysteries, as they like to call it. It's not a bad day. This is a day to firstly give your cats a lot of kisses and a lot of love, because as we know, cats are sacred to Freya. So if anything, make this a day to celebrate your little kitty cats. Worship the love goddess, and honestly do stand firm against tradition, stand proud in your witchyhood, and question everything that is like taboo, because honestly, a little crazy. It's a little bit crazy. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Again, if you guys want more from me, check me out on Patreon. I've got the Moon Fam over there. There's tons of good stuff. You can get even more of the vibes that I'm bringing to the table. We do weekly astrology forecasts. We do weekly tarot. We do full moon tarot, full moon meditations. We do tons of stuff over there. It's super fun. We've even got a book club, which is like the most, I think the thing that people love the most. We're about to enter Aquarius season, and it looks like we landed on a book. I cannot remember the name of it. I think it's like Reclaiming Your Power, something like that. It's about basically being a bad bitch, okay? And so basically we vote every new astrological season on what book we want to read for that season. So for Aquarius season, that's what everyone voted on, and I'm very excited. So definitely join. You can join in time to start from the beginning with us. And yeah, get your bottle of Love Me Good oil, sign up for Eye to Eye. It's gonna be Bad Bitch Central. Eye to Eye is actually gonna release next Friday on Aquarius season. So if you do want to join, I'm still figuring out this platform, but I'm pretty sure that you can sign up right now for the waitlist. And I'll have that link in the bio of this episode. But it won't be available to purchase until next Friday. And also Patreon will get a discount and early access. So if you want a little discount on that, join Patreon. Any tier will get the discount. But yeah, that's all from me. I hope you guys enjoyed. Happy Friday the 13th. Go do something witchy. Go do something fun. And yeah, I love you all so much. And I will see you all next time. Bye. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd encourage you to stick around. I've got tons more content for you here on the podcast and over on YouTube under my name, Luna Seranova. Make sure to follow me at Luna Seranova on Instagram for everyday witchy content. And if you'd like to share your support in a super easy and free way, go ahead and rate this podcast to let others know what you thought. My books are open for tarot and astrology readings. I've just released 2 new specialty readings, the Good Witch reading and the Bad Bitch reading, each to help you connect to your higher Good Witch, Bad Bitch self. Go ahead and check out my website for more details on that. And if you're ready to up your Good Witch, Bad Bitch game with a group of fun, supportive, and loving witchy friends, you should join my Moon Fam on Patreon, and you'll get access to our group chat on Discord, our book club, and other behind the scenes and exclusive content that you'll only get on Patreon. All right, love, I'll see you next time. Until then, go forth in your life with the power and love of the Good Witch, Bad Bitch.